Hello there and welcome to the channel. I'm Richard. What I want to do today is take a look at the GoFire Firestarters as a addition to your fire kit. These are supposed to be really good fire starters. I picked these up at Walmart for $5.97. We'll talk about some other places you can buy them. But I thought what we'd do is take these out today and check them out and see if they really work as advertised. Well, here we are. These are the GoFire Firestarters. Now, these are kind of interesting and unique. They come in a little cellophane package. They are paraffin-based. Let me hold them up close so you can see it. Sort of a paraffin-based fire starter. They're advertised as being eco-friendly because there's no fuel accelerant added to these. In addition, they're advertised as being waterproof. So what I've done is I've been soaking one in a cup of water, and we're going to see if they are in fact waterproof. We're going to test these to see if they burn for as long as they say. The box says the extra large will burn for 15 minutes. We're going to see if that holds true. We're also going to see if it'll burn 7 to 12 inches high in flame, as it indicates. I'm going to actually try to start a fire with wet wood with these things. It's been raining around here a lot. Even though it's fall and it's a beautiful day today, it's been raining for the last week. Every bit of wood is wet to some degree, and we're going to see if this thing can light wet firewood. That'll be an interesting test for it. So we're going to see how well this also lights using a ferro rod versus a lighter. Everything I've seen, these have been lit with a lighter, but it'll be interesting to see if I can get this going with a with a ferro rod. So we're going to test this thing out several ways and see how good it does as a fire starter. We're also, at the end, I'm going to compare it to several other kinds of fire starters. I've got some fire plugs here we're going to try. Got these fire plugs we're going to try. I also have my homemade fire starters that you guys have seen me use before. And we are actually going to soak one of these in water and see how well it works after I soak it in water. I have no idea. We're going to find out because I've never done this before. I also have something from a company called Camp Tech. It's a item. It's a sort of inside a cardboard tube, and you cut off a piece of it, and it's supposed to be like a little coin of fire starter. It looks like it's got wax and it's got fiber in it. We're going to see how well that starts as well compared to the GoFire Firestarters, which are really kind of inexpensive, really kind of efficient in the price. And we're going to see how well these other types of fire starters that we're more familiar with might work against the GoFire. So let's just get into it. Okay, so you see I tried one earlier, just see it's still burning over there, but let's take a look at this. So it is the GoFire pouch. It comes, it's some kind of a paraffin-based material. You can see the little pieces of it broken up in there. I'm not sure that that these are really, I don't know what's in it. I mean, the package doesn't tell me. It's some kind of a paraffin-based material. It's not supposed to have an accelerant. It's supposed to be environmentally friendly. First thing I thought we'd do is we see if I could light it using the using my ferro rod. So let's take and see if we can do that. So I'm going to just try and scrape this off. You're supposed to light the corner of this thing. So it doesn't light well with the ferro rod. Okay, it's just not lighting well with the ferro rod at all. So you're not going to be able to light this with a ferro rod, I don't believe. This is going to be designed to light primarily with a lighter. So let's go ahead and try this, and we're going to go ahead and light it on the corner. It's just to light the corner as a wick. And, well, it didn't stay. I got to light it longer, I guess. So that didn't work. So let's light it closer to the paraffin. Okay, so once you light it close to the paraffin is going to catch fire and it's going to burn. This should burn, says, for 8 to 10, maybe 12 minutes. So that's encouraging. So we're just going to let it sit here. We're going to time this and see how long it takes for this thing to burn out. It's burning right toward my camera, so I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. Or it's going to make my camera burn out here. So we'll try a different angle, just for fun. Okay, so we've established that this thing, when it's lit, will burn pretty high. I think you saw that before. So I'm going to take one. This has been soaking in water for about 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it underneath my wood here. And now I'm going to take my lighter. I'm going to stick my lighter down there. I'm going to see if I can't light this wet item to see if, in fact, it lights, even after it's been submerged in water for quite a while. Now I'm going to get my lighter down here. This is when it's nice to have one of those lighters that has a longer stem on it. Hold the light on it until it catches the paraffin. So I think that's the key. You've got to hold the lighter down there until the flame gets to the paraffin. And once you've done that, it's going to start to burn. So it's starting to burn now. Whoop. So we're going to start to put some wood. Now this wood is all wet. It has been sitting out in the rain for over a week. So who knows if this is actually going to light or not. I hope it does. If it does, it'd be a nice testimony for this fire starter, that's for sure. It seems to be burning pretty vigorously under there. And we're going to see if it catches that wood on fire. Shouldn't take long. If it's going to catch the wood on fire, it should do it fairly quickly. But again, like I said, this wood's been wet, so who knows how long it's going to actually take for this stuff to start burning. The flames are pretty vigorous. I can tell some of the wood is already starting to catch. So that's a good sign. I can hear the wood crackling a little bit. Not a lot of smoke. I think it's pretty hot as a fire starter. As you could tell from our previous experiment, this thing burns for a long time. Okay, while we're waiting for that fire to catch, it looks like it's doing okay. That wet wood appears to be doing okay, and I'll show it to you in a minute once it gets going a little better. But in the meantime, I thought what we'd do is we would do a little sample of looking at some of these other fire starters and see how they might look in comparison to what we just did. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to work on one of these little fire plugs. We've all seen these things before. I've used these many times before, and I like to take it and I like to slice it open just a little bit. I'll be careful because this knife is really sharp. I don't want to cut my finger this afternoon. So I'll open this. The advantage of these is that I don't need my my lighter to light it. I can light these things with my ferro rod. I don't know why. So I've got that fluffed up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ferro rod and I'm just going to start this. There it goes. This is going to burn a while. It's not going to burn as long as the GoFire, but it will burn, and it will. But the flame won't be as big. It won't be as strong. You could use this really if you've got a lot of really good dry tinder. I think this would work well. Again, that's not a bad little way to start a fire. So let's take a look back at our fire that I started with the GoFire. Remember, all that wood was wet. It seems to be burning just fine. If I feed that fire, it's going to get bigger. It's going to continue to grow and continue to burn. I'm just out here for the afternoon, so I'm probably not going to feed that fire for very well. But you can tell it's burning in there really, really nicely. And that's all from that one GoFire Firestarter. That's the extra large, remember, and it burned really well, and it was able to get that wet wood burning. Next, I want to take a look at this ProCamp Tech fire stick. So the idea is that you simply cut off part of this. So we're going to do that. We're going to cut this off using the saw on my Gordon multi-tool, which, by the way, is not a bad little multi-tool for $40. I kind of like it. Boy, it cuts through that really nicely. Well, it should. I mean, it's not hardwood or anything. Whoops. So what I've got is something like that. And so what I'll do is, what we want to do next is we want to get that lit. Now that should light a number of different ways. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to cut it just a little bit and see if we can't expose whatever's in there that will make it burn. I think what's really going to make it burn is this cardboard outside. It doesn't look like it's got a lot. It's got fiber in there. It's just like the other. So this is just like that fire plug. It's got the fibers in there. And so it should, if I break this up nicely, it should light just like the other did. It seems to be a bit more waxy, a bit more solid than the other. So this may may not work as well with the ferro rod. We'll find out. Because we're going to try that right now. Almost did it with the wrong end of my knife there. Whoop. Not one to cooperate. There it goes. That caught pretty quickly. But I'm not sure how big it's going to burn. But just like the fire plug, it'll burn probably 5 to 6 minutes. It's just not as intense a flame as that other fire starter was, as the GoFire was. The GoFire is a much more intense flame. Good dry tinder, I think a fire starter like this will probably be just fine. The GoFire is going to be much better. Now, your GoFire can also be used when you're trying to light charcoal, or if you're trying to light a fire in your home. In a fireplace, not in the house, but in the fireplace that's in the house. That might also be a good use of the GoFire. Okay, you've seen me use my little homemade fire starters before. These are nothing new. I've done these before on several videos. And, you know, they're just the paraffin, the little cotton rounds soaked in paraffin and lamp oil. Nothing fancy about them at all. I think again, you can go watch the videos where I've done this. But what I'm going to do this time, something I've never done before, and I want to see how it compares to the GoFire. I'm going to soak this thing in water, and we're going to see if, in fact, this, as I made it, will be the kind of thing that would light even after it got wet. So it's been in the water. You can see it's in that water right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that out. I'm going to shake off the water. Now I'm going to go ahead and break it open. We've done this before. You've seen me do this many times. This is my favorite way to start a fire with these homemade fire starters of mine. These things are so cool. So I'll just do that, and then we'll just get my ferro rod. And we will take a spark. Look at that, one spark and the thing lights. And that will burn quite a while, and it'll burn pretty hot. I'm gonna put my microphone close to it. I don't know if you can hear this. The sizzling. That's, of course, because I had the thing wet. But it lit just fine even after I'd been soaking it in water, so I'm really pleased with how that came out. So compare that to the GoFire. Well, I think this is waterproof. The GoFire is waterproof. This is burning a pretty big flame. The GoFire burns with a pretty big flame. This will light with a ferro rod. The GoFire will not light with a ferro rod. So I think there's a purpose for the GoFires. I'm not sure that they are any better than the homemade ones. I had a lot of fun making the homemade ones, and I think you would have fun making them too. But as you can see, that is burning really, really well. Well, there you have it. I think we've concluded our test of the GoFire Firestarters. These aren't bad. These were the extra large, remember, not the smalls. So they burned about 12 to 15 minutes. I think depending on the conditions, it'll burn more or less. I was able to start a fire with that just fine. And that fire is still burning over there, so that works great. That fire's been burning for half an hour at this point. And remember, I do a lot of filming, and there's a lot of breaks in there, but that fire's been burning for half an hour with no problem. And so I'm very pleased with how this thing started. The big difference to me was I could light this one with a ferro rod. I could not light this with a ferro rod. You need a lighter or a match to light this, because you have to light that corner and you have to hold that flame on that corner until really it gets to the paraffin and it catches. At that point, it'll burn like crazy. You saw it started that fire for me, just no problem at all. The other fire starters are fine. They were kind of interesting. They don't burn as brilliant or as hot as either the GoFire or my homemade one. I will put a link down below on the video for making these homemade fire starters in case you're interested. In the smoke from the fire is blowing toward me now. But I'll put that down in case you're interested in doing them themselves. There's nothing more satisfying than making your own fire starter material. So with that, again, I think we concluded our test of the GoFires. I think it was a successful test. These are a nice little item if you wanted to buy some of these, give some of these to somebody as a gift. I don't think that'd be an awful idea. Again, I got these at Walmart in the camping area. You can also get them online at various outlets. So in the meantime, get out, get camping this fall. Get outside, just build a campfire and spend the day out in the woods. In the meantime, stay strong, stay prepared, have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.